wish the helicarrier in the movie looked like that. Big fat. It looks like the Ark. There's so much fucking stuff. So much stuff. Foggy. Chance of
Him
rain.
and Storm should get together.
Oh.
Hello and welcome to the WIP, the What If podcast that's a work in progress, a roundabout roundup of Marvel's What If series. I am your host, the bearer of the Wicked Smart Gem, the Slim James, joined by the holder of the Razzmatazz Gem franchise.
Oh yeah.
And, I don't know, skin fluting. No.
That's what I get.
Yeah. The Andrew the Giant.
Oh, thanks.
I don't have a good gem.
He's the whistling Dixie Gem.
Thought that through.
I thought it through when I was upstairs in the bathroom, and then you guys have to sit here and read comics for another 10 minutes, and I lose it. Anyway, we're talking Infinity Gems? Not really.
No.
But we are talking comic things, because this is what that is. Coming up in the world of comic things, the Daredevil Netflix show,
Yeah.
to be released April 10th.
Did you see that trailer?
No.
Right.
I just saw...
Did you?
I did.
I don't watch the trailer. I saw a picture of Vincent
I know you
D'Onofrio.
don't watch trailers.
Well, it was a lot of him daredeviling around.
Okay.
Yeah, it does
There it
look
is.
good though.
Yeah.
So that's our synopsis of the trailer for you.
There it is.
Daredevil stuff, and it looks good.
And I saw Vincent D'Onofrio being chunky.
Oh yeah.
So it's nice that he could work that into a role.
Instead of just working it into life.
Yeah, or his roles. Hello.
Oh.
And with that in mind, part of this episode will be devoted to daredeviling. There's also, the Avengers trailer. Apparently it has some vision in it. I saw just a screen grab of that or whatever.
And that's it.
That's
Yeah.
all there was in the trailer.
2
too.
seconds.
It was just
Yeah.
a very.
Him with his eyes closed, and then all of a sudden they're open.
Yeah. So man, pushing the Vision hype train. Just think
Yeah,
about that.
I'm
God.
I'm glad that they've kept him a secret
Yeah.
for the most part. Like on the poster, he's there, but he's
so
like-
far back.
In the background.
and the sun is right behind him, so it's kind of like blocking him out. You can't really see him.
Yeah,
So
it's
it'd
nice
be
that they
cool.
could probably try to save a little something for
Yeah,
a
that's-
reveal.
and especially for people that don't even know that he's going to be in the movie, that'll be a cool surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Agent Carter wrapped up. Watch that.
You did watch it?
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
finale and stuff.
That was good. I thought
Yeah.
that was only going to be one series, mini-series, but apparently they're
Yeah,
another season.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it had an open-ended ending, which is
Ooh.
what they pretty much do in all of the Marvel things.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Eating
god.
shawarma?
No. So have you watched it all?
No, you can spoil it, that's
Okay,
fine.
it's Ernim Zola. Yeah, they
Is
have...
he in like the big robot suit and
No.
He's in jail.
Yeah, that's the one huge logical fallacy in all this. They have this one evil genius, so they just stick him in a cell with another evil genius.
There's also...
Who they put him in jail with?
Well, it's like this
He's-
hypnotist guy.
He's somebody. I
I-
watched a video
I'm
of
sure he is, but there's so
Easter
many
eggs, but I don't
goddamn...
remember
The
what his-
ringmaster?
No.
The corruptor?
No.
But there are so many goddamn flunky villains that like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, obviously it's a dude from the
But
comics,
there's
and like
also-
if he's not famous, like relatively famous, like okay, it's
Yeah. They think that the ring that he has could be one of Mandarin's rings
uh-huh.
because he fiddles with it. Because when he's talking and like hypnotizes you, but he's always playing with his ring at
His
the same
mind
time.
control ring?
Yeah, so they think it could be one of
Yeah.
the 10 rings.
Possibly. Or are they going back to the Mandarin well too? Like
Maybe.
holy
Well-
moly, how many
Well, I saw.
So the
on-
Infinity Gauntlet will be all the soul gems and all 10
Yes.
rings on one
Maybe
hand.
all 10 rings make one infinity gem.
Oh. But I saw, well, in the Ant-Man IMDb page, there's
Uh-huh.
a guy cast as 10 rings. So I don't know what that is.
Maybe he's just a rapper. But yeah, overall Agent Carter's pretty good. Now, like, there's not going to be as much drama because, the main characters don't die because they show up later.
Yeah.
But it's still a good sort of mystery caper tale.
Other characters died.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Yeah. Apparently, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started up again, but
Yeah.
I watched that on an 8-day delay because I watched The New Girl instead.
Yeah.
no, we
So-
watched that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And
It's a good
somebody
one.
says the word inhuman.
And you actually
And
see...
is he just describing, like...
He's describing her heart rate.
Oh, I thought he was
As
describing
inhuman.
ivory hunting.
Yes. No, that's inhumane.
Oh, God!
No, it's actually a good one, because you see... They're sort of putting more powers into the show.
Ah,
They've
there it
always
is.
had a little bit in the Agents of
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D., but this one...
Mostly
is-
Blizzard.
Yeah.
Blackout.
Let's,
Mentioning man thing.
Daredevil...
Absorbing Man. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Basically, they should have Absorbing Man in, like, one of the movies, like Civil War or whatever, where they have the big crossover. The other ones, who cares? Oh, Blackout. Oh. Unless he has this sweet
Those are
lightning
obviously
bolt.
just the villain of the week thing.
Yeah.
It's those guys. Though.
Absorbing Man got some good play. He had like a
Yeah.
3 or 4 episode
Yeah, and
arc.
his part was actually cool.
Yeah.
When he turned into asphalt,
We can, like...
Jeep flipped over.
So we're standing on the brink of something magical, a Daredevil series, actual adaptation of Daredevil that probably won't be awful.
Well,
Probably not.
probably not more awful, at least.
Yeah.
It'd be very, very hard.
Even when Marvel's sort of struggled, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. needed to get off the ground a little bit, like it's still pretty good,
Yeah.
and I'll take pretty good
I think with it being on Netflix, they can make it a little more gritty because it's not
on the TV.
network television.
Yeah.
Yes. So, with that in mind, let's bust out a Daredevil what if. We'll take his origin as being known. Blind guy, gets some radioactive goop in his eyes, learns karate, fights crime.
It's the same goop that made the Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then,
TGRI.
and yeah,
It's
so
not
he...
goop, it's ooze.
So yeah, the issue we're reviewing is What If, featuring Daredevil from like 2006 or 2005 or whatever. 2005. It's basically, what if Daredevil was Japanese instead? It's written by Rick Veitch. He hasn't done much else. The One, I don't know what that is. Art by Tommy Lee Edwards, who did the 1985 miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much I've seen.
Yeah.
So is this like a joke about him being blind? Because, there's that... that saying you're turning Japanese.
That's no. Although I was thinking about the intro when I start talking about this. It's not Matt Murdock isn't Daredevil. Let's just get that out of the way. It's some samurai's son.
Well, that makes
Well, so
more
it
sense.
could have happened in
McWorld.
the same universe that Daredevil is Daredevil.
Except
It's a
Matt
different
Murdock.
truck in Japan with goop.
Yes, but Matt Murdock is existing in like 1885 feudal Japan.
Oh.
Is that where this takes place?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Stick raises the son, Masahiro, I believe.
So he's still there, though.
Yes.
Everybody is just in.
Matt Murdock is a white diplomat to Japan. Stick blows up Matt Murdock's ship because the big bad Shogun, who's running the thing, will promise to cure Masahiro, the Japanese Daredevil's blindness.
Is Shogun just the Japanese version of Kingpin?
Pretty much. He's the analog. He's like, yeah, if you blow up that ship, I'll cure his blindness. And he's like, what are you, stupid? So Stick seems like a bad guy, but he was just trying to do right by the kid.
Masahiro.
Yes. Masahiro grows up, meets this universe's Elektra.
Mm-hmm.
They go after the big bad Shogun, the Kingpin, essentially. We're just retelling the same story, but with Japanese stuff instead. Mm-hmm. Your raging climax is Matt Murdock shows up during Elektra and Daredevil's showdown with the Shogun. Murdock snipes Elektra, but
What does that mean?
with a gun.
Oh.
Like, even back then, he was that good of a shot. Like,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Musket ball.
They had rifles. It wasn't a musket. And
What year?
1885.
1885.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not 1685.
1495.
Yeah. So Shogun admitted to being behind blowing up Murdoch's ship. So it turns out Matt Murdock is actually kind of a good guy, and he doesn't kill Daredevil when he has the chance. He kills the Shogun. And then it turns out he was just kidding about sniping Elektra. He just grazed her temple because he's that good of a shot. And
He did that on purpose?
apparently, and they all live happily ever after. Because it turns out Matt Murdock is actually this universe's analog to Bullseye.
Oh, shit.
To underscore that, they call him Bullseye. Shogun's like, hey, Bullseye, kill this Masahiro Daredevil person who's wearing this devil mask. And he's like, actually, kablamo! And kills the Shogun instead.
The end.
Exactly. It's not too
Good.
well, it's not too in depth that I needed to go into a very long explanation. I do like it's a nice little twist to have Matt Murdock as Bullseye.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't really play
Not
up much until the very end. Daredevil himself was a little flat.
Yeah.
And Murdock's more interesting. The art's good. I will say this is a very weird nitpick. It has weird lettering.
Oh,
in that
the lettering?
Typeface.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, it has the word balloons, and sometimes they're not centered, or, like, there's a big, meaty donut of word balloon around the words, and it's just it looks a little off at points, but that's, like...
I've never seen this name before. John Workman.
Probably never see it again.
Probably is
Yeah,
only great.
Yeah, it's a really weird nitpick, but there wasn't much else to talk about in this issue. It's fine.
It doesn't seem... Well, you didn't talk much about the actual Daredevil guy.
Well,
Seems
because
like
he doesn't...
It seems like most of the story focuses on Matt Murdock.
Not really, but he's the only interesting part. Like, it's, oh my god, I'm meeting Elektra, and like, oh, do I trust you? And, oh, Shogun, like, oh, I hate you, Shogun.
I
Like,
hate you so hard, Shogun.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
bad.
bubble seems a bit big.
That
For
bubble's
Yeah,
bigger
and, like-
than the other one.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like off-center. It's like, there's just little weird things that I noticed when I was just perusing the issue.
Yeah, they do seem way too big.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like, some are off-center and some are centered.
Yeah.
it's not good.
It's just weird because I never really noticed it in other ones. So, that is Daredevil Part 1.
Yay!
Where is the other one?
Right here, Kingpin. And the name's Daredevil.
You would have to be a daredevil to dare to challenge me.
I'm taking your family. The police have your son, and I have you.
My son?
We did it.
What If Volume 1, number 38, is a triple header.
Uh-oh.
That's right. We're doing 3 issues with 6 stories in this podcast. What If, featuring Daredevil and Captain America and Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Oh my god.
Part 1, Daredevil 2013, The Future.
Or that.
By...
When this was written, it was the future.
Yeah. It takes place 30 years from when this was published, so 2013. It's by a guy named Alan Kupperberg, who's actually sort of an unsung hero of What Ifs when I was looking at his work history. He did issues 9, 23, 28, 29, some Marvel 2-in-1s, some Marvel team-ups like number 96 with Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like all over stuff we have, and you don't even know.
Is he related to Benedict Cumberbatch?
I believe so.
Burbank.
So, in this alternate future, for some reason, Foggy Nelson is vice president of America.
Oh god.
I don't even know.
Should be.
I don't even know who he ran with, but he's vice
Kingpin's
president.
suit is
Monochromatic.
Blue, it was
it doesn't
white.
have any creases or anything. On it.
It looks like a baby
sun.
onesie.
So yeah, let's just start. Our cover has this weird Father Time figure who doesn't show up. He's not a real character. He's just a metaphor.
Like a weird taskmaster.
And he's holding Kingpin and Red Skull in one hand, and then Vision, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, and Daredevil in the other.
Red Skull's green swastika jumpsuit.
Yes. It's amazing. When Nazi jumpsuit.
With a big swastika emblazoned on your chest.
Yes. Subtle. Foggy Nelson's vice president. Daredevil Secret Service. Terrorists attack. So at least they got that right about the future. And this is a very subtle future. It's not like
What the shock?
Jetsons flying around and flying cars.
cars.
Old Devil and Grey Widow, Old Black Widow, they're on the prowl fighting off terrorists.
Yeah.
Turns out Old Kingpin is behind the whole thing.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
He's wrinkly old Kingpin, and he falls off the roof in the battle. Not accidentally.
Oh.
Daredevil kicks him off.
Oh, when you say he's old,
So he doesn't
he
fall.
just stumbles off.
Kicked off.
So these are all third of a book long, so
Real
it's very short. And overall, this is pretty meh because it's like just the exact same thing as like a regular Daredevil story. Oh, Daredevil and Black Widow team up to fight the Kingpin. except they're old now.
It looks like Kingpin as the Watcher. The Watcher's fat.
He used to be pretty fat.
He's been working out.
Yeah, well, yeah, he used to, before they settled on, like, the skinny with giant head version, they had a few different interpretations.
Just a big fat guy.
So, yeah, that wraps up our Daredevil portion of the show.
Daredevil.
Thoughts on Daredevil?
I
did
actually
way
like
too much
Daredevil.
research for this.
I like him as a character. Maybe not in these what ifs.
Well, what do you...
Seem to be his best.
Well...
But, he's a very gritty sort of street
Yes.
character.
Yeah, and that'll be a good change of, like, style for the Marvel thing, to have some homicide life on the street versions of some superhero tales, rather than just, like, fantastical flying around stuff or fantasy Thor stuff.
Well, I wonder if they're going to do a lot in, like, Matt Murdock's law office stuff. If he's going to do, like, superhero law cases.
Boston Legal.
Because then you might see, like, She-Hulk show up. Because she's another lawyer.
Yeah.
Start building
Yeah,
the universe
that's
out.
True, she is.
But I don't think it would be very exciting if they did courtroom stuff.
They might just. Well, they might just. What's She-Hulk's real name?
Jennifer Walters.
They'd probably just like throw her name in there.
Yeah, as
Just
like
mention
Maybe have them walking.
She's
out of
working on the
courthouse.
other case.
Yeah, or she could even defend against Jennifer Walters.
Oh.
Not as She-Hulk, because you can't just show up as She-Hulk.
But she
There's a
does.
big question mark there. How did this happen?
Well, yeah, they could easily just throw her name in there. And for people who don't know about it, just,
That's a very white girl name.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, tale 2 of this triumvirate of alternate futures. What if Sharon Carter had not died? We're still in 2013.
Who?
Sharon Carter died?
What if she hadn't? Though?
I thought she was still alive then.
Well, I think that's probably one of the things where she died, and then they're like, "Hey, don't worry about it. She's alive again." Because comics,
Yeah.
20 years later.
It's not like a Gwen Stacy death.
Yeah, it's not because ultimately Captain America, I guess he has Sharon Carter and stuff, but he doesn't really have that the yin to his yang. He doesn't have his woman really. He's not defined by his interpersonal relationships. He's more or less has to be a soldier his entire life. 30 years in the future, 2013. It's I think this has a little more Space City and has the trademark of Future Tales things where there's gangs with wacky sunglasses on
Man.
and like mohawks because it's the future.
Fluorescent colored.
Well, that's like LMFAO games. I think they were pretty on the money like that.
Uh-huh. So the crux of the story, this one's even like less interesting than the Daredevil one. Steve Rogers is old. Red Skull comes back. He's old as well. I think he tries to revitalize himself, possibly with like Steve Rogers' blood.
Yeah.
How did he get that?
I don't know.
As we see in Agent Carter,
There's only one sample left.
and
Yeah,
she
but-
dumps it into the river.
Yeah, by the way, that's the whole point of Agent Carter. Steve Rogers' blood.
She dumps it in the river.
So, yeah.
So now there's like super soldier fish.
Yes,
And dead bodies dumped in the river.
will be reanimated
Uh.
as super soldiers.
Marvel zombies.
Oh God!
So yeah, Red Skull comes back old with a Professor X chair, like floating sort of gold thing. But then he reveals his son, Red Skull Jr. He's the one in the swastika jumper.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So Steve defeats him, but he resolves himself to having... He basically says, I have to continue being Captain America till I die, because there's always going to be
It'll
threats.
be pretty soon then if you just keep fighting.
Yeah.
It's like Batman. Batman just can't fucking give up.
Yeah. Even
Gotta
though there's
do it
lots of other
all the
superheroes.
time. Yeah, but he's still fighting the villains that are also just as old as he is.
Well, luckily, Captain America's got a new Nazi to fight.
Good. He can't find another guy.
He's very specific, alright? Nazis.
Just Nazis. Luckily, as long as Nazis are still around, Captain America will also be here.
Alright, so we're moving on to Vision and stuff.
Nice.
This Vision piece of the What If, Volume 138, is by David Michelini, maybe. He's done a bunch of famous stuff. Like, I think he did, like, Spider-Man 300, or... Yeah, I think that was the writing. And, like, a bunch of other famous... Like, he does the one... The Iron Man one where on the cover it's Tony Stark being an alcoholic looking in the mirror. Yeah, that one. And then the What If that was sort of spun off of that. So
Demon in the bottle.
yes.
Yeah, Man in the Mirror.
Yeah. As Michael Jackson would say. So this is 50 years in the future.
Oh.
The spacescape of 2033.
Oh, good lord.
And it's not really in space, but you know, anything that's like in the future. Oh man, obviously we're gonna have
Cars are flying.
Mars colonies.
Yep.
Duh.
The buildings aren't actually on the ground; they float.
Yes.
Right?
And so future Iron Man in this has fairy ears. They're like pointed up like Namor's.
Well,
I noticed that.
Yeah.
That was
But
pretty awful.
what about Iron Man 2020?
what about him?
He's got his gear face. Like they just skipped him and went straight to Fairy Man, Iron Man.
Why does he even need
Ears?
things? Are they for aerodynamics when he flies?
I think so. Yeah, well, you
Like
know,
Thor's wings on his helmet.
the fairy ears are pretty futuristic.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of them happening now.
No.
So there must be.
You wait.
But yeah, so Iron Man 2020, that's from like the Machine Man limited series. Thank you. I have all 4 issues.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I have Iron Man 2020's first appearance. So when the year 2020 rolls around, cha-ching, cha-ching. So there's not much action to this third of a tale. It's Mortality, the comic.
Yay.
Iron Man is Rhodey's son.
Everybody's old.
Well, yeah, Iron Man is Rhodey's son. He's actually young, but
What?
he contemplates on Tony Stark dying of heart disease and Rhodey dying of a stroke.
Oh, no.
The aged Scarlet Witch is ill, and pretty much she's dying. And she alludes to Quicksilver also dying. So, right off the
Everybody's
bat.
dying.
Exactly.
Couldn't she do something to
Alter the
slow
probability that, hey, maybe
Slow down
alter
her
the
aging.
probability of me just turning young again. Basically, what it boils down to is Jocasta, female robot extraordinaire. She pulls the old switcheroo and trades places with her, as Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy would say.
Yeah, they would say that.
Yeah.
So wait, she does the trade with who? Wanda?
Yes.
So
So,
she dies?
yeah, Jocasta's sentient robot brain dies in Scarlet Witch's body, while Wanda lives on in Jocasta's robot body,
Why
and
would
her,
she do that?
because she's a good robot person. I don't know. Yeah, it's like Pinocchio and
Don't think about
a real boy. Like, there's probably an explanation there. I didn't read it.
No.
And even still, it's going to be like one sentence of dialogue.
Yeah,
She
because-
sacrificed herself so that the love between the Vision and I might survive.
Anyway,
There you go.
there it is.
Love.
So yeah, so Jocasta Witch dies, the end. And Scarlet Jocasta lives on, so her and Vision can just bump robot uglies.
Yeah.
Put your USB-A into my
No, it's all
Port.
It's all wireless by then.
This is 2033.
Wi-Fi 6.
So yeah, overall this is an odd book. There's like a little bit of action, but short tales of heroes nearing the end of days. So
Well, do you think,
the art is fine to good, but like it's all like, hey, we're very old.
Look at us.
Yeah.
do you think maybe they'll allude to the Vision Scarlet Witch romance in the Avengers?
Well, they have both characters in there.
Yeah, so
It'd
maybe
just be at the end.
Scarlet Witch winks.
Yeah, I think it would be like the after credits sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, them just straight up
On a
boning.
date.
Oh.
Or shawarma
Uh-huh.
on their first date.
It's just like a
So
big
yeah,
vibrator.
that as we approach our Vision solo book for our last tale, let's talk about the Vision's origin.
Okay.
Subject, Wasp. You will tell me the shield's current location.
What? Who are you?
I am my master's vision of the future. You have 10 seconds to respond, or I will terminate your existence.
I'll tell you this, Mr. Vision. Nobody breaks into Avengers Mansion and gets away with it.
Time has expired.
Expire this!
He is an alternate original Human Torch's body.
Jim Hammond
Yeah,
style.
which
Yes.
they won't be able to explain that.
No.
They'll just say.
Although
Totally
there
different.
was,
Probably like out of an old suit of armor or something.
Yeah.
well, there was in the Captain America, the first Avenger, they did show him under glass. It was
Who?
in there the
Jim
original
Hammond.
Human Torch. Like he was technically under glass there. I'm not saying that they're gonna actually do anything with it, but
Yeah.
it's technically.
It's a possibility.
Exists. That said, it's not even the real original Human Torch. It's an alternate Human Torch created, and I quote like Marvel Wikia, by Immortus for his own machinations.
Oh yes, I have like the Avengers Forever storyline, and it's just a big Kang Immortus story.
Uh-huh.
They talk about that a lot. How
Yeah. Well, there's also in 1990, the West Coast Avengers, where they revived the original Human Torch, and that doesn't preclude Vision from existing. So the point is, we have this like alternate original Human Torch body, who has the original mind waves of Wonder Man.
Simon Williams.
Yes, but Wonder Man is also alive, so he's not actually Wonder Man. He just like has his Wonder Years, and then has his own memories on top of that.
Yeah.
So he's like a mishmash. So like Giant Man or Hank Pym's his grandfather, Ultron's his father, Wonder Man's his brother,
Twin brother.
Jacosta's his sister, the original Human Torch is his half brother.
The Grim Reaper is his half brother.
Exactly.
That's Simon Williams' brother.
So the Vision family tree he's basically like superhero gumbo. They just put all the parts in.
Yeah.
Because then you start
swirl
talking
around.
about, like, he married the Scarlet Witch, so Magneto is his father-in-law.
Yes, and Quicksilver is his brother-in-law.
And then that means Crystal of the Inhumans is his sister-in-law.
Yeah, and then they had kids, and then there's also his fake kids the Scarlet Witch made up.
But now they're back as the Young Avengers.
Those were something to do with
Soul.
Mephisto's.
Yeah. Souls.
Yeah.
So
Fragmented
they're
parts of
related.
that.
Yeah, so they had Mephisto's in there. So basically,
So Mephisto was the actual father.
Right.
Vision is actually the linchpin to the entire Marvel universe. He is related to everybody.
Yeah.
And so now you were talking about before that he has a little nub on his head that looks like a soul gem or whatever in the comics, but wasn't, but actually might be an infinity gem to sort of tie things together.
They think that that might be the thing that sets him apart, so that eventually he will develop his own feelings and then see that
That makes sense, 'cause
Ultron's a shitty guy and he's doing bad things.
Yes.
don't
So
have
then,
one
hey,
of-
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, this guy's an asshole, you should come with me and we'll go over the other side.
Yeah, come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, and then I'll bang Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Through magical means is what it
Through
says.
magic.
So that's how he impregnates.
Magic bang.
Through magical means.
Yeah, here's the thing. Vision is actually wearing a suit. There's been, stuff where he's like lounging by the pool with Scarlet Witch and he's all red. So he chooses to wear this awful green and yellow get up on purpose. It's not his
So
skin.
he doesn't have much of a conscience then. He's choosing to wear shit like that.
Yeah.
He's a pretty shitty guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, I was never super interested in the Vision, because he's always like, oh, I'm a robot, that's weird, right? And then, like...
But I feel these
Yep, sure
emotions.
is.
Yeah. Our third and final issue is, What If Volume 2, number 19? What if the Vision of the Avengers conquered the world? And the cover is either the best or worst thing I've ever seen, because it's all this, orangey red color, sort of the same color they put on his face, and a lot of green and yellows, and it's like one step away from just being this weird color palette of these garish colors, and like transcending to become like, what's the guy's name?
Yes.
Art Garfunkel.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah. It's almost transcended to become like an Andy Warhol, like, recolored monstrosity. But it isn't. Because then they just put in some blue with Captain America and the Watcher and
Yeah,
stuff.
they should have left that blue out.
Yeah, without the blue, then it just becomes so ugly that it's like almost a statement.
And I like how they are literally walking on the city.
Yes.
His feet are crushing buildings, and so are the Hydra goons.
Got into those pimp articles.
Yep. Pimp articles.
Yes. The real story about this, Vision is injured while fighting Annihilus. Star Fox, not 64.
The
Eros
only
from Titan.
Thanos' brother.
Mind melds him with Isaac, the supercomputer of Titan, birthplace of Thanos and Star Fox. And so basically, by doing that, Vision could plug into every computer on the planet. Which I think in the 80s, I think when this took place, that would give him a total gigabyte of processing power.
Holy cow! 1 whole gigabyte.
216 megabytes of RAM. Squeeze!
Yeah.
Oh.
Could he wirelessly tap in?
That's the thing. Is everything
So
connected?
He was the original Wi-Fi.
Yes, he's the Y guy. So this in and to itself is split up into two tales. Part 1 is Utopia. What if he took over all the computers and it was good?
It would be good.
So basically, because he's so omnipotent and omniscient, warring governments and supervillains, they don't have access to their computers.
Uh-oh.
So
What are they doing on their computers? When is this?
19, this was published in
19
1990.
anything. What the hell are you doing on your
Well,
computers?
they have the missile launch codes.
Yeah, you could launch them. Well, yeah.
Nukes.
Yeah. So basically, they're like, oh no, let's just whatever. We'll just
typewriters.
we'll just chill.
There's the missile launch codes in on my typewriter.
Do they really like not hate each other now? Like Israel and
That's the whole thing. It's like,
Well,
no
we don't have
computers.
computers.
Yeah.
now, so
No
what's
hate.
the point?
yeah, no word on whether they could just use guns and just start
Well,
shooting
as
each
we
other.
know, the trouble in the Middle East didn't start until computers.
Exactly. It's a really recent
If
conflict
you
in the
take
Middle
away
East.
the computers,
What do you have to fight about?
So essentially, we see the X-Men feeding the homeless. There's prosperity, and because of this worldwide unity, we become the United States of Space.
oh,
MARS, Mars, bitches. And actually, Wolverine invades Mars with the
That's
New Mutants.
where we are going.
Exactly.
Mars.
no, I don't
Red
understand.
rocks.
Yay, yay.
Why don't they superheroes do this normally?
What, invade Mars?
No, like feed the homeless. Like,
Oh, shh. They have to fight Toad.
Reed Richards, smartest guy ever.
Yeah, can you develop like a super crop that like grows a lot and doesn't take a lot of resources
Just
and
make
like
a machine like Flint Lockwood and probably with a chance of meatballs.
yeah.
Just rain hot dogs.
Or like
on the whole-
give
come on.
people like Reed Richards could develop like a patch to like make people have chlorophyll and they could just eat off the sunlight, But instead he's like, oh,
Then
I
they
need
turn
to
into
create another
plants.
interdimensional travel thing because that'd be interesting.
Oh,
Well,
the thing
you
wants
need
to be
the
able
prison.
to...
Oh, and you want me to
study.
bring in this other alien life form from another dimension because you made this portal? Hey, thanks, Reed Richards, you dumbass.
Right, now we're all dead.
Yeah.
The dumbest smart guy ever.
So yeah, we flash forward to 2156 with the United States of Space. We have the Space Avengers. Yeah, you
They're not
gotta.
called the Earth Avengers, are they?
No, I don't think they're actually called the Space Avengers, but they are the Space
Well, they
Avengers.
should be.
Space
To set
Jam.
them apart from
We got-
the regular Earth Avengers.
We got Starhawk,
Yep.
Oh,
Thor, Iron Droid, who essentially is just Iron Man 2020. He's got the same exact
But
design.
over 100 years later.
Is there actually a guy in the suit, or is it full on
Oh yeah, he's
robot?
but he's just an employee of Stark Space International
Is
Industries.
this janitor?
Some flunky
Exactly.
got a hold of a suit.
Commander America,
Oh,
who's
no.
like his ancestor, Captain America.
His
And
ancestor.
much like Tachyon Torch, who's just like his ancestor, the Human Torch. And just like Jen the Gamazon, who's just like her ancestor, She-Hulk. Yeah, it's one of those things where, hey, we're just going to put these guys in the future. And, oh, it's their
These are
ancestors.
their kids. So
You know how I look exactly like my ancestor
Yes.
from 300 years ago?
yes.
They fight off a Skrull and Kree invasion,
Oh, screw.
and
makes
they all
sense,
live
yeah.
happily ever after. Some Kree invasion.
I like Gamazon. That just makes me sound like, or makes me think it's a woman with really nice legs. Look at the Gamazon there. She's
Gamazon,
Gamazon.
Gamazon, that lady.
Gazumbas.
So yeah, part 2
Oh,
of this tale, dystopia.
There's more.
Yeah, instead of saying, "Oh my God, we can't do anything with our computers. We'll just play nice." Instead, they go, "Oh my God, just launch nuclear missiles now!" And Genosha blows up New York.
oh.
Fucking beauties. So this kills most of the good heroes because they live in New York.
All of them.
No. I'm sure like Black Knight might be floating around in Europe or something.
he's probably
Captain
escaped.
Britain.
No one
That's
cares
who's
about
left
that.
to carry us into the new millennium.
Oh, the GLA.
Alpha Flight.
Great Lakes Avengers are
yeah,
still there.
yeah.
West Coast Avengers.
No, I think they were probably hanging out at to see what Vision was up to.
Oh, what a jerk.
So basically, Vision.
Linchpin of the death of all the heroes.
Yeah, Vision corroborates with Doctor Doom, Hydra, others. I think the Mad Thinker is in there,
Yeah.
maybe. And so basically, his new plan is to quash all rebellion.
Does he say that?
Well, that's it.
Quash.
I can see Vision using words like that, though.
So essentially, he becomes the dictator for our own good.
Like
is,
Doom.
is what it boils down to. Yeah, and so they conquer the universe by basically making Big Brother. Brother.
I mean, that's-
They make Hulk Hogan the Big Brother.
It's a computer program. Sentient computer program based on Hulk Hogan.
The Hulk Hogan algorithm.
Watch those nukes, bro.
Atomic leg drop.
oh.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Foreshadowing.
Armageddon.
Oh
It's
my
the
God.
atomic job.
So yeah, overall this has some pretty decent art, although it gets a little muscly. Like on the cover, Vision has these weird bumps on his side that are like
cancer.
Yeah, they don't even look like like overly muscled. They just look like tiny little frog's eggs.
Yeah, I don't understand why he needs to be muscular.
Yeah,
He's a robot.
That's his suit. That suit, it's a muscle suit.
The stories are kind of interesting. I like the Utopia one better because you get some sweet space Avengers. And it ends on a very like down note on the Dystopia one, having that second. You're like, and yeah, basically, or shit, we all are controlled by Vision now, and the end. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Avengers: Age of Ultron and Daredevil.
And
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't seem like they're really even trying to hype it up.
Well, maybe they're just waiting until they release Avengers.
You don't wanna, but I'm wondering.
Yeah, I guess.
And then it does have
July.
Yeah, so it'll be a solid couple months of hype.
The whole Ultron thing is like the biggest part of Hank Pym.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
it's what he did.
That's the most Hank Pym.
Yes, and they're like, don't worry about it. Yeah, but instead, Giant Man. That's what it is. Giant Michael Douglas terrorizing San Francisco. And on that note, we close. Goodbye.
We'll see.
All right.
Now, is Ant-Man, is that a popular, a long-running comic that has these incredible fans that can't wait for it?
I love X-ray machines.
Up there where you're 10 feet tall is a little bit hard.
It doesn't turn me on, no.
So in closing, I will remind you to follow us on Twitter at The Slim James or at giant_size, theslimjames.com, giantsizecomicthings.com. The WIP What If podcast is on iTunes, on Stitcher, on YouTube, and on Vimeo. So go out there and find us. And remember, don't spend the rest of your life asking, what if?